better. But coming back to studio, remember that interview I earlier hinted on, we want to talk about the business environment post-COVID-19, and joining me for that particular conversation is Richard Ngatia. He's the president of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and equally member council of the World Chamber Federation. Thank you so much for joining us here on Africa Speaks.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Karibu sana.
Yes.
So let's start with the beginning. You had just assumed the presidency in 2019. COVID-19 came and disrupted everything. That, of course, was challenging for you. Before we even talk about where we are at in terms of the business environment, how was it for you?
Like you have rightfully said, it was a challenge globally, not only for Kenya or for the chamber. Our businesses, particularly our members, the businesses were disrupted, and we saw, businesses closure, and it was a big problem for us as the chamber. You remember there were also restrictions of movement, and even trying to mitigate those problems, it was a big challenge. And so we sat with the board of directors. We had some meetings, virtual meetings with the National Governing Council, who compose of all counties, 47 counties where we are present, just to see what are the best ways and measures that we can put in place to support the private sector.
Yeah.
And this time we were looking at not only our members, but the micro SMEs who compose of the hawkers, mama mboga, border members, matatu, all these associations with their members, how we can be able to support them. And very quickly we approached several development partners to see how best they can be able to support us and how we can be able to partner. And luckily we were able to get support from a few of them, where we actually now try to support members on financial inclusion. That was the most challenge for them. And so after speaking to our members, after having conversations with them, we were able to connect them and link them with our partner, and were able to access finance at that time. And the little money that they were able to collect, some of them re-engineered their businesses, and they were able to continue at least to get a meal at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Over and above that, we had financial institutions who came up in terms of making sure we can be able to offer capacity building on financial literacy, so that as they get funds, they are able to understand how to utilize their funds, how to bookkeeping, how to deal with KRA issues. And so that continued as we looked for ways of supporting the entire country.
Yeah.
And successfully that we were able to do that. I remember with a partner we trained about 18,000 members who accessed finance, which was interest-free, collateral-free. This was the MasterCard Foundation and many other partners that came to our support at the time.
Yeah, so after COVID, of course, there was that return to normalcy, and then there's the Ukraine war, and then everything was disrupted all over again. So from where you see it as the president, do you think we are almost getting back to where we were pre-COVID-19?
Yes, I believe we are getting out of the woods. You see, we can't be there all the time. You mentioned the Ukraine war.
Yeah.
After that, we had our elections here in the country, and now we can see what is happening in our region with a neighboring country in Sudan. We don't know how far that will stretch. But again, we are moving from that.
Yeah.
We have done a lot of mitigation in terms of getting partners, in terms of working with the national government, mirroring the national government, making sure that we also support them on policy development, policy issues. And yes, we have seen a lot of uptick of the programs that we do have as the chamber.
Yeah.
And so we have also seen a lot of startups come in, where we are supporting them to make sure that they can be able to be supported on intellectual property. In fact, today I've just come from a meeting where we were launching in partnership with Minet and Fidelity Insurance and ourselves to see how the private sector or SMEs particularly can be able to be supported on insurance policies, because that is a big problem whereby, for example, you say their businesses were disrupted during COVID, and even now we can see. And so how do we package insurance policies in partnership with these insurance companies to make sure that we mitigate these problems and the risks that come with us. We have seen a lot of members within the SME. They may not have that knowledge about insurance policies and why it is important to have insurance. And so this is why, and the reason that we are launching this product, so that we can be able to give them information, and once they are knowledgeable, they'll be able to now work in partnership with these companies.
You know, when you talk about policies, though, I keep on saying the one challenge we have in the country is not lack of policies, it's the implementation of policies. So even as you come up with those new policies, how will you ensure that they are implemented?
For us, if we are talking over policies, for example, where we also give our input as the Kenya National Chamber on formulation of policies, particularly on business environment, we are there to make sure we help in terms of implementation. We make sure that we are working with the relevant ministries. We are working closely with regulators. We are having roundtables with regulators, importers, exporters, and traders in the country, so that they can be able to understand the challenges that are there, the mitigation, and how we can be able to approach any issue so that they can be able to continue with their businesses. This has also been seen when we look at the inter-county, the county, the 47 counties. Trade, how do we support their policies, as you said, but are they implemented, for example, in terms of double taxation? We come to support as the chamber. We come and say, look, this is still happening. Goods from Trans Nzoia to Mombasa, there's still double taxation. How can we be able to control that? And we give that information to the national government or the county governments and try and see how that can be tackled and supported.
All right, before we even get to the issue of double taxation that is being experienced by traders, I want us to go back, because you mentioned the issue of financial inclusivity. How do we ensure that our traders, our business men and women, our entrepreneurs are financially stable?
In terms of making sure that they're financially stable, again, is the continuous interventions that we as a chamber are having in making sure we have partners, we're working closely with the government. Again, I mentioned to regulate all these problems that we're having in issuance of licenses, in those kind of taxes, double taxation, and many other things that actually come to barriers that are there, bottlenecks that are there. And so for us, we make sure that we also work closely with the financial institutions. We understand what exactly they require, what packages they do have for different businesses, because every business has a unique problem. They need different types of support from banks or even, the institutions. And so we come to support in that area.
And speaking of support, you know, the world is going digital, if it already isn't. These specific traders, businessmen and women will need those training and skills in order to sustain. How is now the chamber ensuring that they acquire those necessary skills?
Like I said, we do have several sectoral committees within the chamber who support the secretariat, who support them to make sure that they are able to work very closely with our members. And so, yes, we do a lot of trainings, a lot of capacity building through, again, the support of partnerships with TVET, for example, support with certain programs that we do have. You talked of digitalization. Just the other day, we launched a platform called Isoko, and this is with the Trademark East Africa. And in partnership, we are supporting women to get into that platform. They will be able to trade through that platform. They'll be able to get timely information on that platform, and any products that probably are sold, they'll be able to get them on that platform. It becomes easier for them to sell their products, to give their information, disseminate the information from that platform. And we are looking at, in partnership again with Trademark East Africa, in scaling it so that they can be able to access the East African community. In terms again of digitalization, we are in partnership with International Chamber of Commerce, where we are looking at digitalizing 750,000 startups. This is an initiative that the process has already begun, and I believe in the next 1 year to 2 years, we shall be able to get to that target, so that then that location can be able to continue their business and trade. For those who are watching us right now and they would love to access that platform, how can they? Of course, we do share with our members. We do have, all our members actually have their contacts where we share that platform. But again, anybody who wants to get into that platform, to get to the chamber, we are all over the 47 counties. You don't have to come to the headquarters. We get to you, we keep advertising and providing relevant information for them to be able to join. Again, this is working with women. Let me also say that, again, we are also working very closely with Absa Bank in support of, again, women, where we go to the counties together with Absa. We are able to have roundtables with them and to listen to them, to hear about their table banking, the support that they require, and Absa Bank is also supporting them on financial inclusion. And with these partners, then we are able to have conversations across the country. I want us to go back. When you assumed office, of course, some of your key priority areas were, increasing chamber membership, improving financial stability, enhancing chamber advocacy role, just to mention a few. From where you sit now that your term is coming to an end, have you been able to achieve all that you set out to achieve at the beginning? Yes. Let me say from when we took over, that is in 2019, of course, we took over from the former chamber president, who was Kiprono Kitoni, and ours was actually to take the chamber to the next level. So the things that I found were not in place. We were able to, first of all, make sure that we capacity build the board of directors, we capacity build the national directors, one on governance issues, and also to strengthen the standing committees. The standing committees, of course, we have the dispute resolution committee, we have the integrity committee, we do have finance committee, human resource committee, and we have many others, about 20 sector committees. One of them was to make sure that we strengthen them so that they can be able to support both the secretariat and our members. Yes, we have been able to achieve our manifesto, which had 6 pillars. We have been able to achieve about 80%, again because of the distraction of COVID and following other distractions that came with it, and of course now the Ukraine-Russia war. We were not able to meet to meet the target that we had. However, there were emerging issues or programs that were not within our manifesto. And of course, we as the chamber, we mirror, we align also with the government, we align with the county governments so that we support them. So we also look at what vision do they have versus our manifesto. And so we align and try to also tailor our manifesto to actually get to work with them and also help them meet their targets. And so looking at the end of the term, we have been able to work successfully to meet the targets that we had, and those that we didn't meet, there's a provision of a second term as the chamber. And so I've done my first term, and I'm vying, of course, I'm defending my seat for the second term, where then we believe we shall leave a monumental legacy and to make sure that we have supported our members. And that really is my vision, to make sure that all our members who are the micro are able to get financial inclusion, are able to be capacity build. By the time we finish, we should have a membership of entrepreneurs who can be able to access finance not only from development partners, but they can be able to access finance from larger institutions, finance institutions.
Yeah.
And that is what we are doing to make sure that we continuously work with them. There are programs that we do have which are 6 months or 1 year. But this is what we say, look, you support a business for 1 year. But after that program ends and you as a development partner leaves, then where do we leave these people? So we want to have a continuity of about 5 years, 6, 7 years. So by the time we finish with that member, you are able to sustain your business, you are able to understand the market, and you can be able to approach not only the East African community, but also the African Continental Free Trade Area that is ongoing now. And really we want to support them so that they scale their businesses to that level.
Okay. In the case that you do get the second term that you're lobbying for, and of course you're hoping to defend your seat, what lessons have you learned from this term that you might, or what might you do differently from what you've learned this term, the second term, that to ensure your members that, you know, things are going to change?
Yes.
Yeah.
First and foremost, let me say, not if I will.
You will.
Get. I will get. And I will continue with that work that I was given to do by the delegates, the AGM, and I believe we shall continue. But in terms of lessons, I think one of the things that we want to do is to continue to strengthening the institutions.
Okay.
One, I remember what we were able to introduce is certificates of origin, which we issue out to all exporters. Anything going out from this country, the chamber provides certificates of origin. And so we did that, and what I did when I came to the distribution of revenue of those resources, I was able to have it distributed across all our offices, our counties. This is to support and to strengthen our office so that they can be able to support their members out there. So those are the lessons that I would want to carry along and say, I want to continue supporting the Secretariat, the National Governing Council, to support them on governance, on our structure, to build it and to have a solid organization that can be able to support anytime, even when we have challenges or pandemics like we saw the other day, we can be able to continue with our business. And so moving forward definitely is to get more development partners to come in, work very closely with the national government, particularly on financial inclusion, like the Hustler Fund. We want to be part of supporting them, and we have been supporting the national government. In fact, when it was launched, the chamber was part of the mobilization team, mobilizing the members and beneficiaries, and we were part of that, and we want to continue supporting them in any other programs that they do have. We want to have that good partnership with the counties. We have started having conversations with the counties, particularly on issues when it comes to industrial parks or special economic zones. In the last 1 month, I was in Nandi, I went to Asengishu, from there I went to Mount Kenya, where we had conversations with the governors and the members. And also I'm happy because the CS of Investments, Trade and Industries was part of the team, and we were very excited because he committed that the ministry will be able to develop industrial parks across the country. And so ours is to continue strengthening our organization, our chapters, so that they can be able to support the ministries and, of course, the members to reach to those industrial parks, to support also cottage industries to these small farmers as well. And that way we shall be able to support the value chain across the country.
All right, even as we conclude, for those traders who are watching us right now and they're lamenting over many permits, licenses, double taxations, you know them, what can you tell them? Is there hope on the other side? Because, you know, most traders want to know, will the permits situation get solved? Will the taxation situation get solved? Maybe a hope coming from you would go a long way.
Yes, I want to tell you that there is hope, and of course we as the chamber continuously advocate for you. We are your voice out there, not only at the national government level, but also with the legislature. A few months back, we were with the Senate, with a few governors as well in Mombasa, where we had a meeting between the Senate, governors, and the cabinet secretaries, and the BMOs, a few BMOs who are with us. And we were trying to see how do we mitigate these problems of double taxation, of licenses, of all those that you've mentioned. How do we do that? And you see, yes, there are policies, but are there policies guiding different counties? Because every county comes up with their own policies, they come out with their own implementation plan, and they all want to actually collect revenue. So what can they do at the National Assembly level so that this can be a law that it is passed? Because if there is a law, definitely, which is supporting the business environment, that will not happen. That will not happen. So we are having those conversations, and that's why I'm saying there's hope, and they're very much willing to really support that motion, so that we can see that business environment very conducive for you, and so that that will build that confidence in you when you invest in any, when you make any investment, and also when you're pushing your products to any other county.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Richard Ngatia, President of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and equally Member Council of the World Chamber Federation, and all the best in your second term. All right, we're watching Africa Speaks. We take a short break. I leave you with Destination Africa. We'll be back shortly with more news updates.